we talk a lot about moving a project along the path, okay? And again, some of the key elements of that are knowing where you're starting and knowing where you're gonna finish, right? And then the in-between is moving everybody along that path, right? And so one critical thing that we do, involves relationship building and collaboration with our team, right? If you guys have been in construction for any, given time, been in it for almost 25 years, you've seen a culture shift, and you've seen the dynamic change a little bit from how people and teams are managed on a job site. When I was growing up and I was first starting, construction was a real command and control environment, right? You had a superintendent, you had a project manager, and they would go out and command the troops, right? They would command the subcontractors. You're gonna do this by this time. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do this, right? It's real pointing and say, do this and do that. Well, and as you can imagine, that led to a lot of yelling and screaming and conflict and all that, right? That's the world that I grew up in and thought that's how you get stuff done, right? Well, that's just not the world we live in today, right? It's very important to foster collaboration, trust amongst the team, and a high level of communication amongst the whole team, again, to build the relationships, right? So every subcontractor that we work with, that mindset starts in the beginning. Whether we're trying to find somebody that's a good fit for the project, when we're negotiating prices for the project, when we're negotiating contracts and scopes with a subcontractor to join the project, and then definitely when we're working on a project together, right? So at every step of the way, we are communicating at a really high level, and we're trying to articulate the vision, right? Is the vision we have for the project the same, and can it be in alignment with the vision of what the subcontractor wants? Yes, okay, let's go forward. Can we align on price? Yes, let's go forward. Let's make sure and talk about scope, right? Are we communicating, right? Is communication happening when we're saying, I need you to do this scope of work for this price, and then the subcontractor is saying, okay, yeah, we agree that we're doing this scope of work for that price, and we get alignment, we sign a contract. Hopefully everything's good to go. Now, when we get into the project, again, things are gonna happen. You're gonna uncover problems. And that's why it's super important to be able to communicate and collaborate with the team, right? You need their feedback, right? Even when we write schedules for projects, we don't just dictate what the start and finish dates are gonna be, right? We get feedback from every trade, every contractor, every consultant, every resource, everybody's gonna be involved. We get feedback for them to say, hey, does this look right? Can you do this? And then throughout the project, we're constantly communicating, right? How are things going, right? We're running these OODA loops. We're doing that with the team, right? We're observing what's going on together. Are we on track or are we off track, right? If we need to get with an electrician or a plumber or a drywaller and say, hey, we're off track, can you help us get on track? Okay, we're in this together. This is a partnership. That's the mentality that we look at. That's the mentality that we operate from. Now, is there cases where we've got to apply pressure? Absolutely, right? Is there times where we've got to hold people accountable? Absolutely. We've got to hold people accountable to what they say they're going to do. We've got to hold people accountable to the end goal. We've got to hold ourselves accountable. And so we do that with real open and honest communication, right? We do it with trust. Do we expect subcontractors to hold us accountable? Absolutely. Right? We're all making commitments. We're all setting goals that hopefully are going to move the entire team down the path to an end result that everybody's proud of, that gets everybody the result that they want. And I don't see how you can do that if you're not communicating and collaborating and building relationships at the highest level possible, right? So we choose to live in that space of we're going to be good partners, right? And we expect people to be good partners. And that's evidenced by the results that we get on the projects.